Missing that key player on your team and do not have the coins to afford him? Check out cheapmaddencoins.com for the best coin buying and selling service. Use code SAVAGE for 15% off. Yo guys, what's going on? It's Savage here, and today I'm going to be breaking down the Thursday night football single game slate between the Los Angeles Rams and Seattle Seahawks. I'm going to be breaking down this slate the same way I did the Monday night football slate, and man was that a great night. If you tailed the cash lineup that I made in that video, you doubled your money. Congratulations. I also actually tweeted out my personal GPP lineup 5 minutes before lock, so make sure you guys go ahead and follow me on Twitter if you want to get in on some GPP lineup action. And I actually wound up making over $5,000 on my GPP lineup on Monday night. It was just an all-around great night for everybody. I had a bunch of people tweeting at me, yo, I tailed your lineup and it hit big, and I'm so happy that a lot of you guys went ahead and you took my advice and you tailed it and you made yourself some money. So hopefully this Thursday night game we could go ahead and do the same, as I am going to be once again giving you guys a very safe cash lineup. If you're going to be tailing this lineup, make sure you let me know down below in the comment section, and of course smack a big fat thumbs up on the button, as I love putting out this DFS content for you guys. Want to go ahead and sign up for FanDuel as well? Make sure you use my link in the description below, and of course follow me on Twitter if you have any questions. Now let's go ahead and break this slate down, fellas. So once again, just like on Monday, I'm going to be building this lineup based off of the safest floor plays. That pretty much means we are going to be playing all the players, in my opinion, that I feel have the highest floor points. So even if they have their worst game, they are still meeting value. So let's go ahead now and just talk about the game script. Vegas has this game listed as a shootout. Right now, a day before the game, so this is subject to change, of course, the under-over is 49.5. The Rams are coming off a hefty L from the Buccaneers in what was a shootout for them on Sunday, and now, honestly, I think they might be in that same situation on Thursday Night Football. Although the Seahawks are a team that really likes to control the game and really likes to run the ball even if they aren't winning. Like, I've seen games where Seahawks will be down by 3 or 4 points, and they still continue to try to establish the run game and dominate on the ground. But I just feel like the Seahawks are going to realize, like, they're better when Russell Wilson is passing the football. They're better when Russell Wilson is throwing the ball 40 times a game rather than handing the ball off 30 times in one game. And I feel like with how the Rams defense really broke down against the Buccaneers, I'm sure Pete Carroll is going to notice that and say, listen, maybe, just maybe, we switch it up a little bit. We let Russ sling the ball a little bit more. I think in cash, the big move is going to be fading kickers and fading running backs. And of course, the golden rule, playing both quarterbacks. So let's go ahead and look at this entire player pool. I'm going to scroll all the way down, and I'm going to be honest with you. Once again, just like we did on Monday, we really just tack all these guys out until we get up to about David Moore. David Moore and Josh Reynolds, though, definitely not worth the punts in a cash lineup, so we're going to scroll that up, and we're gonna kind of cap our player pool from Tyler Higbee up to Russell Wilson. So once we go ahead and we just established who we want to be in our player pool, we're just going to go ahead now and focus in on who do we want to be the MVP. Now, I just want to put this out there. If you're watching this video not to directly tail, but to kind of get some help in constructing your own personal lineup, I just want you to be mindful of all the Rams players. Jared Goff went ahead and had to throw the ball 68 times in the last game. Now, that could honestly, you know, maybe not 68 times, but maybe like 48 times, maybe 50 times this game, because I really do believe that a shootout could happen in Seattle this Thursday night. But I just want you to be very mindful of some of the target share that got increased. Like, Gurley had 11 targets. Cooper Kupp, I mean, I don't think this is target inflation. I think I've read a stat in his last 9 games, 8 of them he had 8 targets. So Cooper Kupp's getting, you know, his floor I think is 8 targets. And the best part is so far this year he's caught over 50% of his targets, 70% of his targets, a little over 50, almost 100, little over 50 right there in the last game against Tampa Bay. So I think that's really good. Robert Woods logs a pretty fair amount of targets. He just had that weird game against New Orleans, but I mean, for the most part, you know, he's getting, like, I'd say like an average of like 7, 8. I think I'd put him at like 8-9 actually. 8-9 targets a game, so I don't think he's super target inflated. Brandon Cooks, you know, he's more or less like the deep shot guy, so if they hook up on a deep shot, that could really change the slate. But he's probably one of the only Rams that I really would stay away from. And when I say I'd stay away from him, I mean in cash. I just don't think he's a good cash play at all, because Not saying he's touchdown dependent, but in terms of Brandon Cooks getting the amount of targets as Robert Woods or Cooper Kupp, it's just very unlikely that Goff is able to, you know, give eight targets to all 3 receivers in 1 week, and then, you know, over 8 targets to Todd Gurley. Like, it's just it's not realistic. Could it happen? Yeah, of course. But I would just say that the safer bet at receivers are Cooper Kupp and Robert Woods. And remember, this is all from a cash perspective. This is not from a GPP perspective. So with that being said, who is going to be our MVP for this Thursday night? Are we going to actually use a QB at MVP? No. We are going to be using both quarterbacks in the lineup, but I just don't think it's worth it in a cash contest to play quarterback at MVP. That's just my take on it. I personally would go with somebody who is, you know, getting a lot of targets, and I think we just talked about him quite a bit. His name is Cooper Kupp. Cooper Kupp at MVP just makes the most sense. I mean, like I said, he's averaging 8 targets a game in his last 9. 8 targets. He comes down with 5 of them. You're getting 0.75 a catch. He goes for 70 to 100 yards, which he's shown he can do. And, you know, honestly, he's found pay dirt in his last 2 games, which is very optimistic. He found it twice against Cleveland. But he just goes for, oh my God, he has over 100 receiving yards in his last 3 games. I didn't even notice that when I was looking at his stats. It's so funny. But he goes for, let's just say 80 yards on 6 catches. That is perfect value at the captain spot in a cash lineup. And the reason it is because we still have Russell Wilson and Jared Goff in the lineup as well. And all of these players have such great floors. Like, I'd say Russell Wilson's floor is honestly 10 to 11. And I'd say Jared Goff's floor is probably like 8 or 9. And I'd say Russell Wilson's super floor is probably 8. And Jared Goff's super floor is probably 6. But what a lot of people need to understand is that the reason that playing 2 QBs in a cash lineup is so lovely is because, well, I said this on Monday as well, is because a quarterback is always coming in. Like, look at Andy Dalton, bro. They were getting popped. He was in every single play. He still is on the field to potentially earn you more points. So it doesn't matter if they're down 30 to nothing. The quarterback is seeing 100% of the snaps. It's just too good to get them both in the lineup to turn up. I didn't mean to say turn up. I meant turn away. That was kind of funny. And another really big thing with cash lineups is odds are both quarterbacks are going to be owned by a lot of people. Quarterbacks are always so high owned in cash, so odds are if one of them has a bad game, guess what? As long as your other 4 players with the solidified floors step up, you are going to cash. Look at Monday night. Andy Dalton had 3 points, and y'all still cashed. It's almost like I know what I'm talking about. Now, like I said, we are fading kickers. A big reason I like to fade kickers is, like I said, man, I said this on Monday. Their floors are 4. 4. I just think that's a solid number for a kicker. That's like a field goal extra point. Ceilings are 10. Do you understand that a 40-yard touchdown can hit a kicker's ceiling in 1 play? Like, I would personally rather punt Everett. I would rather punt DK over a kicker this week from a cash point of view. We're not going to be playing any of these 4 players in this cash lineup because I'm going to be honest with you, this cash lineup is so good. And this cash lineup, I'm guarantee that so many people are going to have a lineup that looks just like this. It might be a little bit different with who they use at their MVP, but I just feel like Kupp is the safest MVP for this lineup. And with that said, like, people that don't even watch this video are probably going to have this lineup. I mean, like, this lineup literally just constructed itself. Let me just finish it for you. So the next player in this lineup is going to be Tyler Lockett. Once again, just another dude who's just so reliable. You know, last week, I mean, he still got 7.1 FanDuel points against Arizona. But, I mean, it's just his week 2 and week 3 performance is what, you know, just grabs your eye. 14 targets, 12 targets. It's safe to, I mean, and they were trailing to the Saints. So, I mean, you know, that's one thing. But nonetheless, listen, when Russell Wilson's throwing the football, bro, the Seahawks play better. I just want people to understand that, and I think Pete Carroll might finally come to realization this week, because if Jameis Winston can pick apart the Rams, I promise you, Russell Wilson can, which is why I just have shootout written all over this game. With that said, I just think that's just going to bring Tyler Lockett's target share all the way back up, and hopefully he can find pay dirt for us too. So I think Tyler Lockett is a Lockett across all formats. Whether you're making a cash lineup, whether you're making a GPP, you need to have Tyler Lockett in your lineup. So that leaves us with 6,500 salary, and dude, I mean, like I said, this lineup literally made itself. It's just absolutely insane. Or again, our boy Tyler Higbee. Tyler Higbee got hurt, I think 2 weeks ago it was. Yeah, he missed the game against the Steelers. But Tyler Higbee, Now, like I said, target inflation. I think 3 of his 4 or 3 of his 7 targets came in the last 2 minutes when it really didn't matter because the Rams kind of knew they lost. But I mean, the first game, 5 targets, 4 catches, 20 yards, 1 touchdown. Then against New Orleans, 3 targets, 2 catches, 21. Yeah, I know. And then, like I said, target inflation. So, I mean, realistically, he probably got like 3 targets in the beginning of this game. But for a 6,000 salary player in a lineup with this, like, his floor in my eyes is still 4. His floor in my eyes is equivalent to a kicker's floor. And the big reason is because I just think that this game script has a similar game script to the Buccaneers game. And that wasn't even supposed to be that game script, by the way. That game script kind of just, when that game script came out of left field. I'm not even going to lie. And, this game script for the Thursday night game, it could very well happen again. You could see, Jared Goff throwing 40 times, 50 times. Granted, I still, even if that doesn't happen, I still think Tyler Higbee is still due for his 3 to 4, check down grabs. And, if we go ahead and we actually look at his targets to his receptions, I mean, he's catching more than half. He caught 66% here, 80% here. And then I don't know how to do fractions that have a denominator of 7, so I can't do that for you guys. But nonetheless, Tyler Higbee is still they paid him, bro. They paid him. They're going to use him. He's going to get his floor. Even if he doesn't meet, like, in my opinion, when I'm paying $6K for a player, I want 4. If I'm paying 6.5K, I want like 4.7, 4.8. But even if he at 6K does not hit 4, let's say it's 2.8, which is kind of my floor for 5K or for 5K guys, then guess what? I'm still happy with that because I know I'm going to get a lot out of Lockett. I know Goff and Wilson, they could very well each have 20-point games. And Cooper Kupp, bro, he's sky's the limit. He's one of the most underrated receivers in the NFL. Dude gets so many targets, and he's rarely talked about when it comes to being, a top-tier receiver in the league. You just don't hear his name anymore. Well, ever, really, if I'm being honest. Cooper Kupp, he's going to, get his volume. Russell Wilson, you have the plus with his legs, so, you could get, anywhere between 30, 50 rushing yards, maybe more. Jared Goff, if he's throwing and he's throwing a lot, it's like if it is the shootout that I believe it's going to be, it could definitely yield a 20-point night on top of 3 interceptions, but that's okay. Lockett, I just think there's no way he gets under 10 targets this week. I would just be very, very surprised. Actually, he logged 90% of the snaps in the slot, and I am pretty sure the Rams slot corners Nickel Roby Coleman, and I think Troy Hill plays reps there. I'm almost close. I think I'm right. I might not be right on the Troy Hill, but I'm pretty sure Nickel Roby Coleman is who overlooks the slot. So I think Lockett's going to have a field day against that, and then we would just need our bare minimum out of Tyler Higbee's floor. But yeah, guys, pretty much just going to wrap it up. I'm really excited for the game tomorrow night. I'll probably tweet out my personal GPP 5 minutes before lock. So if you want to go ahead and tell that, just make sure you follow me on Twitter. I have my notifications on, all that good stuff. If you want to see some more DFS breakdowns for slates and stuff, let me know down below in the comment section. Could go ahead and break down main slate. Would probably be a longer video, but it would be very insightful. I love you guys so much. I hope you all have a wonderful rest of your night. Good luck. Hopefully we hit again, man. I'm really trying to hit again. I know you guys love money. I love money. We all love money. So hopefully we could hit it again, boys. Have a great night. Love you guys.